Hello everyone, I am Deepak Nath of Tezpur University. In this presentation, I will be discussing about some useful disaster models to study disaster risk of any hazard-prone area or system. We know that community members may face crisis or disaster-like situation due to large-scale damage and disruptions in their area or system. Magnitude of damage and disruption in any system depends on status of disaster risk of the system. Disaster risk of any area or system absolutely dependent on hazard and vulnerability profiles of that area or system. This means disaster-like situation may arise in a system only when the system is at risk and exposed to some hazards and also vulnerable to these hazards due to some internal negative conditions. Disaster risk assessment is integral part of disaster management plan, which enables the planners to know about hazard and vulnerability profiles of that locality and take measures for damage mitigation. But disaster risk assessment is a complex mechanism because each and every hazard has its own characteristics and damage potential. Moreover, vulnerability has also multiple directions. These may be physical, social, organizational, motivational, and many other factors. So, people are trying to find out suitable methods for genuine risk assessment of some hazard prone areas. Disaster pressure models nicely explain the causes of disaster and possible options for disaster risk mitigation. I shall discuss about few popular disaster models which can be useful to disaster managers for assessing disaster risk and risk mitigation planning. One such model is contract expand model, which describes the process of disaster phenomena and options of disaster risk mitigation. The most useful method to understand the causes of disaster is disaster crunch model, while disaster release model explained nicely about the criteria for disaster risk mitigation. The concept of contract expand model is mainly related to analysis of differential vulnerability of hazard prone areas. This model was widely used at South Africa to assess disaster risk and mitigate damage and disruptions in hazard prone areas based on three assumptions. First assumption was based on the concept that in case of very high magnitude hazard, vulnerable community may not have capacity to prevent the hazard. The second assumption suggests that disaster risk mitigation measures can be carried out simultaneously, but this should be done priority-wise to get better result. While assumption 3 is related to the concept of weightages of different activities. As per this assumption, relative weightages of different activities can be determined based on nature of hazard and vulnerability factors, as well as community's capacity to deal with these factors. Disaster crunch model described precisely the causes of disasters and rationale behind progression of vulnerability. According to this model, disaster-like situation may arise in a system when any hazard strikes the vulnerable community having many unsafe conditions. Means most of the valuable physical resources of the community are at risk. Such physical unsafe conditions associated with different elements may be generated due to some hidden or visible factors. Such factors create extensive pressures on vulnerable community and reduce the ability of the community to make their support system resilient to external threats. Equally, there may be some distant root causes which help in generating pressure factors and physical unsafe conditions. So, in most of the cases, vulnerability factors progresses from distant root causes to dynamic pressure and finally generate physical unsafe conditions in the system. This mechanism is called progression of vulnerability. Let us consider the case of river flood to understand the concept of progression of vulnerability clearly. Flood-induced disaster may occur in any area due to high rainfall in the catchment areas followed by heavy discharge in river network. But this should be related to some vulnerable resources in the area which may cause large-scale damage and disruptions in that particular area. Common physical unsafe conditions for flood hazards may be the land itself is prone to flood. There may be some houses, infrastructures, and other valuable assets in the flood prone area which are unsafe to flood. Crop area is highly vulnerable to flood. As a result, the crops are unsafe and there is possibility of high damage to crop during flood period. There may not be any flood protection device or flood protection devices like embankments are at risk due to faulty constructions. Absence of structural measures to improve carrying capacity of drainage network and many more factors may be responsible for increasing disaster risk of this particular flood prone area. Now let us see what may be the pressure factors responsible for such physical unsafe conditions. These may be decrease in carrying capacity of drainage network and continuous sediment inflow from upper catchment areas. Lack of knowledge about flood disaster risk and risk reduction mechanisms. These may be related to insecure livelihood and poor economic condition of vulnerable community also. The physical unsafe conditions of the locality may be generated due to motivational problems of vulnerable community as well as government agencies in dealing with flood problems of that particular locality. Physical resources may be unsafe due to misappropriation of government fund by the concerned agencies as well as vulnerable community. These may be related to ignorance and negligence of counter disaster resources. As a result, most of the physical unsafe conditions are at risk to flood. Equally, there may be some distant root causes of all such problems. Let us see few probable root causes of flood vulnerability. This may be related to deforestation, shifting cultivation, and developmental activities in upper catchment areas, which may increase soil erosion, sediment influx in river network, discharge of the river, as well as flood levels of drainage network. The dynamic pressures may be related to violation of forest and land use regulations. Flood disaster risk may also increase due to absence of risk reduction plan. This may be related to casual attitude of government and line departments in dealing with flood problems. Dynamic pressure and physical unsafe conditions may increase due to lack of genuine legislation and policies. The biggest problem of flood management is gap between government and vulnerable community and non-cooperation between different agencies which are involved in flood management. Disaster release model deals with the options and criteria for risk reduction in vulnerable areas. One option of disaster risk mitigation is hazard management by preventing hazard or minimizing impact of hazard in the flood prone areas. For all hazards, it may not be possible. River flood can be prevented or its impact can be reduced to some extent by different means, but hazards like earthquake can neither be prevented nor its impact can be reduced by any mechanism. Another option is vulnerability reduction by eliminating all physical unsafe conditions of the hazard prone area. We have seen in disaster crunch model, progression of vulnerability in a system involves many factors. Physical unsafe conditions can be generated due to dynamic pressures and root causes. So, elimination of physical unsafe conditions is not possible without eliminating dynamic pressure and root causes. Vulnerability reduction is possible by eliminating root causes of all such problems first. Then, the pressure factors and physical unsafe conditions of the flood prone areas will be removed automatically. In fact, vulnerability assessment and elimination of unsafe conditions from vulnerable systems are very complex job. But even then, in-depth analysis of hazard and vulnerability always helps the disaster managers to find out the options for disaster risk mitigation. Here are some reference books. You can follow this for better understanding of disaster risk assessment. Thank you all.